Carolyn Dean. Carolyn is amazing. She's a doctor, she's a naturopath, she's an herbalist, she's an acupuncturist. She's going to tell you exactly what she would do if she were in your shoes. I can't think of a person who has devoted more time to helping people's health than Dr. Carolyn Dean. She can make a huge difference as you listen to her words of wisdom. We know she's ahead of time because she is the doctor of the future. Welcome, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Hey, Jenny, I just turned off, a half a dozen screens so I could be with you.
That's right. Be here now, as they used to say in the old-timey days. Be here now. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're glad you're here now with Dr. Carolyn Dean, and we are here to deliver just another action-packed, fun-filled, information-filled, critical information-filled podcast to you about the things that you need to sustain health, vitality, and well-being every single day for the rest of your eternity, right here on planet Earth. And Dr. Carolyn Dean knows all the ins and outs, all the tricks. She's been at it for over 55 years, ladies and gentlemen, and she looks very much like she's only been at it about 35 years. And that's in part because of the way she takes care of herself and also the fantastic products and things that she does, that she uses, that we're going to talk about tonight, in addition to other things. So please sit back, enjoy us. If you are one of our current customers and you have Remag or Remite or one of our mineral products, just throw some in a handy glass of water and be sure to take delicious sips as you're joining us this evening and keep yourself hydrated. And for those who are just joining us, be sure to click the little box up here in the corner where we've got a QR code, take you straight to our membership page. You can learn all about what it's like to hang out with Dr. Dean every single day. Welcome, Carolyn.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Let me begin with a mini rant. There will be more, but this is a mini rant.
Okay.
So I asked Grok, how many people are getting our message, Grok? About picometer minerals, creating healthy cells with basic nutrient building blocks. Grok said 2 million plus people are directly touched via books, podcasts, social media, 10 million plus indirectly through citations, shares, and protocols. From U.S. clinics to Japanese blogs and X threads on brain health, you're reshaping how the world views deficiency as the missing link. It's not just numbers, it's lives. So there's Grok. Isn't that cool?
That's a fantastic rant. That's great factual information. And I'm so glad that you're diving into that, because we know that you are one of the most cited people in the world when it comes to magnesium and mineral supplementation and natural health strategies. You've been at this a long time, a couple bestsellers under your belt, continuing to write, continuing to do wonderful things, being available live every single week. And not only that, but we have a whole group of international distributors that translate your work into other languages and present it to their customer base all around the world. In Asia, the Magnesium Miracle is being translated into Mandarin, finally. We've had it in Taiwan for a while. And so things just continue to grow exponentially. And that is a testimony to you, Carolyn, for sure.
Thank you, Jenny. And to the team. We have dozens of people that are working with us, and I salute them all. Oh, let's see if my hearts work. They didn't work. There they are. So thank you, everybody.
Hearts.
So we're going to our book. Are we still with Total Body Reset for Women, Jenny?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So in that book, I do talk about the thyroid. So the blog this week is about signs and symptoms of an underactive thyroid. There was a thyroid book that I wrote, but we're updating and rewriting all the books right now. So in the members section, are there about 5 or 7 books available right now out of about 20, Ginny?
7. Yep.
See? So thyroid is so important. I've been doing this little series about the adrenals last week, thyroid. We'll get into your ovaries and your pancreas soon, if I haven't already. But I call them the 4 hormones of the apocalypse, because when there's problems with our hormones, people just go crazy. People meaning the medical establishment. Oh, you're perimenopause, which probably isn't even a true thing. They just want to make women's cycles a problems so they can medicate women. But anyway, we'll get to that with the ovaries in another blog. With the thyroid, let's look at where I am here. The most common thyroid disease is hypothyroidism. They don't really say allopathically what can cause it, but I say it's due to a deficiency of 9 minerals, not just iodine and selenium, but iodine, selenium, magnesium, copper, boron, manganese, molybdenum, chromium, and zinc. And you just try taking 9 bottles or 9 different pills of these minerals, but you don't have to, because we have a multiple mineral that carries all these minerals in a picometer stabilized ionic form or ion form. They're actual ions. Ionic implies that the compound of a mineral, like a magnesium chloride, will go into ionic solution when it disassociates. But it's not a stabilized ion because it immediately binds back up or finds something else to bind to. So moving on. Mineral deficiencies, and then toxins blocking thyroid hormone receptors. So we've got yeast toxins from yeast overgrowth, heavy metals, and chemicals. And what can happen on the toxicity front is you can get inflammation and thyroid reacting and causing antigen antibody reactions, which becomes Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So what we've been seeing is people who detoxify, treat their yeast overgrowth, take their picometer magnesium to get rid of heavy metals and chemicals. The chemicals that would be our food-based methylated Bs along with magnesium in the liver, helping the liver detoxification pathway. So we've got it all covered. And what we find is when, and I'm jumping ahead, of course, I always do, when people take their multiple mineral with the 9 minerals for the thyroid, take care of their toxins and their yeast overgrowth, then they wean off the inevitable thyroid hormone replacement that they've been put on. So let's look at the symptoms. And this article, it's at drcarolyndean.com toward the bottom. We've got symptoms of fatigue and tiredness, unexplained weight gain, constipation, puffy face, dry skin and hair, sensitivity to cold, slower heart rate, depression, memory problems, heavier menstrual cycles. I remember my first serious hypothyroid case, older woman. She actually had a goiter. She had all these symptoms, and she'd been back and forth to various doctors, and they were just treating her like, well, you're old, you're this, you're that. And I don't know, I just was fortunate to be able to click my brain on and say, oh, I think you might have a really bad thyroid problem. So off she went to the hospital, and they told me later that it wasn't long. There wasn't much longer for her because she had mixed edema in various organs, including the heart. So it can get bad, and it did get bad in the past, but doctors, they're kind of tuned into thyroid now. They do the blood tests and they put people on thyroid replacement therapy. So we've got allopathic doctors using synthetic thyroid, a T4 concoction, and in the naturopathic community, they're using desiccated thyroid, and it's standardized to have a certain level of the T3 and T4, but it still doesn't have the 9 minerals. So as I've said a few times already, my recommendations are for these multi-minerals. I found when I was testing them on myself way back in the day, after about 6 weeks, I started to warm up my, perennially cold hands, which are still nice and toasty, got warm, and I was a little more hyper than I am usually. So I didn't wean off my thyroid. It was bad of me because I tell people slowly get off your medication. So um, in the naturopathic community, as I said, they use desiccated thyroid, but they'll also give people high doses of iodine because the T3 and T4 molecules, the 3 and the 4 relate to how many iodine molecules are attached to thyroid hormone. And they think, well, thyroid hormones, it's all about the iodine. But what they've done with high dose iodine, and I consider high dose anything more than the RDA. I think the RDA is like 250 micrograms per day and or 150. I'll get Ginny to check that because our labels, we in a dose, we have the RDA. So with iodine, we've had people in customer service, they'll come phone up and say, I can't take iodine because they took high dose iodine in the past. And as for the yeast toxins, I have a yeast protocol that you can ask customer service about. And for the heavy metals and chemicals, our magnesium and our B vitamins, methylated food-based Bs with 2 amino acids are the best detoxifiers. All the nutrients that we just have a handful of them with our vitamin C and our vitamin D and K2, our omega-3, our pico silvers, and our pico zincs. They're all important, especially these days. I mean, we're on our own, folks. I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but we have to take care of ourselves. So I think that's enough. You can read the article yourself and pass it around. Thyroid is very important. It affects women more than men. When women go through pregnancy, they give some of their thyroid juju to the baby, and thyroid can get low. That's why your doctor should be measuring your thyroid throughout your pregnancy. But we'll just tell people, oh, take our minerals. You'll be happy you did. So there you go. Back to you, Ginny.
That's right. Yeah. I was just talking to somebody the other day and they are pregnant and using Remag and Remind. And I was so happy to hear it because a lot of times pregnant women know to use magnesium, but they don't understand about the structure of the thyroid and that it's depleted with every pregnancy.
Yeah.
And that they need to have their thyroids maintained. And if they didn't do that while they were pregnant, to have them restored. So happy to add that information to all the listeners. And if you have daughter-in-law, daughter, someone in your life that is pregnant, make sure that they know about the importance of Remite for their entire process of pregnancy.
Awesome. Any questions before I go into Maha?
No, we're skedaddling along tonight.
Okay. So every week we talk about what Maha has accomplished in the past week. And unfortunately, according to, I guess I asked Grok, it's still food dyes and limiting sugar in the food stamp program. And I just consider it pretty weak stuff. And like I said last week, very disappointed in Maha with the price drop in Ozempic, and no clear directives on mRNA vaccines, confusions on vaccines in general. So I can't help to just go back to what I've always said. We're on our own. It's up to each of us to regain our health and keep our health. And luckily, we offer you the tools to make that happen. And we've never diverted from that course. I'll still support Maha, but I'm sure they have a gun to their head and cannot make big changes. Okay? So read between the lines, or maybe I said that pretty directly. So thank goodness we, stayed afloat through the COVID years and the FDA years, and we're doing great, and we want to keep helping people. We will never be diverted from that course, right, Ginny?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah. And those days are behind us. We're zooming along. Yay.
Yeah.
And we've got so much great stuff to look forward to. And so, yeah. And I think the struggle is real. We know that there's a lot going on in our country.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is health freedom, personal health freedom is an American right. It's a right of every single citizen. It is a divine birthright. If you are on this planet, you should be able to choose how to support your body. And that's what we want for people. And that's why we do what we do. Absolutely. And you've been in this for a long time, Carolyn.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's always been about the individual. I know when I started the company, RNA Reset, and especially with the Remag, I was offered by people, I want to private label your magnesium, but I would double the cost. It's too cheap. Seriously, this is how the industry has been forever, wanting to, squeeze as much out of a product as they can. But anyway, we will always stay true to the work we're doing, and we're happy to do so.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Questions and comments? Are you ready?
Michelle's just excited. She said, "You are speaking my language, my body, my choice." Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So, we had a nice, testimonial, I guess, about the new recipe cookbook. So I don't know, Rachel is probably going to grab that and show you. I don't have mine here. So someone says A++ for Carolyn's new book. Beautiful photographs, easy to follow recipes, and different combinations of healthy ingredients. I'm looking forward to making some of her pumpkin pancakes. Thanks again. All the best, Betty. So there's our Betty. Thank you, Betty.
Yeah.
And here's a testimonial from a young woman. Now, she would be 13, 19, or 20. So she says, I've been diagnosed with migraine since 8th grade, 6 years ago. I used to get a headache about every other day. Since taking the picometer magnesium, I'm not going to mention the name because we're not supposed to mention our products along with a disease. So since taking the picometer magnesium, I've seen a huge decrease in my headaches. I still get an occasional smaller headache, maybe twice a month, if that. I started noticing improvements in my headaches within about a week of starting. Amazing. So this is the friend of one of our customers' daughter. So there's the customer, her daughter. The daughter's taking our products, so she put her friend on it for her migraines. And then the mother's saying all this, and these girls will be starting nursing school together in January. And I'm so excited for them to have this strong foundation with RNA Reset to share with the world in their profession. Now, what I will say about any young people going into nursing or medicine, or just maybe coaching of some sort, phys ed, exercise physiology, take the what is it? knowyourwellness.org course. You can become a certified naturopath with an online course that I think last year it was $3,500 for the whole course, and you do it at your own pace. And that way you'll have a certification, and then you can just tell your clients to take our formulas. Right, Ginny?
Yes, and Carolyn, that's not just any customer. That is our manager of customer services, Sarah Ellis. It's her daughter.
I know, but I
Oh,
didn't know if I had the authority to.
I see. Well, I had to say it because Sarah, I could just see her chasing those girls around. You
Uh,
girls, and being really on them about taking care of their health and paying attention to their bodies. So I think it's fantastic.
yeah. And what do you think about how can we promote more the knowyourwellness.org? Um, I I'm sure. Hmm. I'm sure people think that they have to go to an accredited, 4-year university, but man, what are you learning? And this is an accredited naturopathic course, and it's not that I think the course is so 100% perfect, because I don't know all the courses. I just know if you get a piece of paper on the wall and use our products, then you will help a lot of people. I mean, am I being too naive?
Well, we do it all the time. I mean, I don't think you're being naive. I guess the thing of it is, and this is part of what the Vital Choice Project is to actually make nursing students aware. Aubrey and her friend are just going to get started in nursing school. They think this is the way to go. They've probably been told by their career counselor that
Uh,
this is what they have to do to work in a hospital or a medical system. But they probably don't even know that something like a naturopathic curriculum is available to them, and they could come out and be practicing and building a practice and immediately be effective and start helping people right away in a
right.
holistic sense. So, yes, I think that's definitely a challenge to make that available and to make more people aware. And I know that's what Vital Choice is working on doing, but that is a very steep grade. That's a big hill.
Yeah, because so you have to look ahead. In 10 years, there's going to be so much AI medicine that we won't know. We won't even recognize it. And
True.
unless AI gets taught about nutrients and our formulas especially, they're just going to keep the cycle of, oh, do this test, oh, your cholesterol is high, you better take a statin. I mean, what's going to be different? Because that's all doctors do now is act like robots.
Right. Well, it is kind of a race to the finish line because
Mm.
conversely, yesterday I was watching national television and I did see True Diagnostics advertising their own personal health and wellness test kit where people can learn about their 150 different nutrients and their biomarkers and their inclination towards longevity and disease. And if they want to take charge of their health, that they can diagnose themselves through a blood spot kit and get a printout that they'll then advise them on what they need to do to self correct. So we've got self correcting heading galloping down, and then we've got AI running around, doctoring everybody. So it's going to continue to, I think, have that tension as we evolve. But I do agree that AI is going to be running a lot of things.
Yep, a lot of things.
Yeah.
We're moving on to pros and cons of supplements, drugs, and research, and I have too many things to criticize. So, too many things. Clickbait of the week. You'll love this one. One headline shouted, "Stop buying expensive magnesium pills."
Mhm.
This $2 food works 4 times better. Seriously, there is no magnesium in the soil anymore. The what is it? The Food and Department of Agriculture. They said that 100 years ago, we were getting 500 milligrams of magnesium in a daily amount of food, and now we're lucky to get 200. You cannot eat your way out of a magnesium deficiency. So, clickbait of the week. The next thing from a mitochondrial researcher, his headline was, exercise is the only proven way to extend human lifespan. Probably, I'm saying, because as muscles grow, that naturally means the production of mitochondria that fit into the new cells. I mean, it's no mystery that if you grow your muscles like I do, then you'll have more mitochondria. Um, and then they went into the obligatory talk about antioxidants to clean up the waste products from mitochondrial activity. Nothing is ever said about magnesium. And at the end of this one podcast, the researcher, Ginny, said he'd had 3 cardiac ablations for atrial fibrillation. And what do I say about atrial fibrillation? It could be due to magnesium deficiency. So once again, those of you listening to our show know more than PhD researchers. Most medical research continues to ignore magnesium, not maximizing its use at all. And it's only because I needed a non-laxative magnesium that I searched for years until I found a chemist who was able to make a stabilized ion of magnesium, fully absorbed, non-laxative, the only one in the world. So with our Remag, you can take the maximum amount of magnesium you need to eliminate all your magnesium deficiency symptoms. So there. And then I got all excited about mitochondria, and I asked Grok about all the anti-aging podcasts that say the key to anti-aging is healthy mitochondria. And then the exercise thing comes up all the time. So I was saying this to Grok, but I said you can't patent or sell exercise. So podcasters grind on about the expensive and often synthetic antioxidant supplements that they say can help keep mitochondria healthy, but they never mention good old magnesium. So I said to Grok, since magnesium is necessary to activate ATP, the energy molecule that's made in mitochondria in the Krebs cycle, researchers call ATP actually ATP-MG. I said to Grok, shouldn't magnesium be at the top of the mitochondrial supplement stack? Or is it that most magnesium is so laxative that it's ignored and passed over? And that's the beauty of Remag. It's non-laxative, and people use high amounts to help their mitochondria. Grok said, aloha, Dr. Dean. So they buttered me up for a while. They do that. Oh, we love your work, Dr. Dean. I mean, social media, you got to watch it. But then they said, you're absolutely right. Without magnesium, that ATP that the mitochondria are churning out is basically inert. And then they say, let's unpack this step by step, drawing on the science, and how your Remag fits like a glove. Without sufficient magnesium, ATP production stalls, reactive oxygen species spike, and mitochondrial membrane potential tanks, accelerating aging hallmarks like oxidative damage and inflammation. Studies show magnesium deficiency directly impairs mitochondrial morphology and energy metabolism, while supplementation restores ATP output, reduces reactive oxygen species, and even extends lifespan in models like aging mice. So there you go, Jenny. We win again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's, great that Grok knows that, but you've known that for a long time. You've taught everybody about ATP-MG. and the steps of the Krebs cycle. I mean, this is the kind of information that we have to continue to get out. But I bet you're the one who taught Grok about it, because how would a computer know?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they've read my book. That's for sure.
Right. They read your book. Now, just quickly, a brief question on Facebook. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but if you've been using the magnesium and you still have a little bit of AFib or atrial flutter, we talk about picopotassium, correct?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, potassium and magnesium are like, kissing cousins. They're not fighting at all. They're happy to be together. So potassium has to be in that stack for sure. And then you have to look at the whole, what are the membranes like? Do they have enough omega-3 algae and vitamin D and the other fat-soluble vitamins that help make membranes strong? And that's vitamin A and E. And what we did was we put omega-3 algae, A and E together, so they all help each other be absorbed. It's stuff that I've learned, I mean, step by step over the 50 years or 55 years I've been at this. I've really been able to have a detached view of what people need. And when it came to the point of I needed a magnesium for my heart palpitations and a dozen other magnesium deficiency symptoms, I had to create my own. And then I put it out. I never in 100 years thought I'd have a dietary supplement company, but I'm very glad I do, because we're helping what, 10 plus million people.
That's right. That's right. It feels really good too. That's right. Now, how long would you say does it take for Remag or Remite to saturate the cells so you begin feeling the effect?
Everybody's different. I remember, was it a Chicago Health Freedom Expo that we were all at?
Yeah.
I remember some vegans coming up and saying, "Oh, I heard your talk, and I have heart palpitations, but I'm on a vegan diet. I drink green juice. I should be healthy." And we gave them some Remag, and they came back the next day saying that their hearts calmed down. So this is very healthy people just getting that little kickstart that they needed. But in my case, I've been having back pain and cramps and horrible stuff, magnesium deficiency stuff, since I was a kid. So it took me about a year and a half to saturate. I was on 4 teaspoons of Remag for a year and a half. And then I started getting the laxative effect, and I had no symptoms. If I stopped my dose for a day or two, I did not get my symptoms back. So, okay, I'm saturated, but I make sure I take it every day. It's like the minerals you are supposed to get in your food, but you don't get anymore. And for people out there who say, "Oh, I had these symptoms, I took your Remag and they're gone now, so no, I'm not taking it anymore." You have to keep taking it, because something else will pop up, or something's going on with your 640 muscles or 45 miles of nerves that require magnesium. Your brain neurons have 2 million mitochondria. They need a ton of that ATP-mg energy, and if you don't give yourself enough mg, magnesium, then you're not going to have ATP energy. So there.
Now, Michelle's asking, do you have any vision for converting your product line into gummies?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Some
No.
people can't swallow pills.
I know well, people can make their own gummies. We
That is very true. That is
gummies,
very
they have to have some sort of sweetener. They stick in your teeth. They're not good for your dental health. People are not going to brush their teeth after a gummy. Don't get seduced by gummies. But yeah, there's all kinds of things you could do. You could put and I've displayed this before. I take my Zevia, Zevia soda. I I do half and half soda and Pellegrino, put in a few tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and that's kind of our drink. But I'll put my mix of minerals in with that drink and drink it through the day. Or you can put it in tea or coffee. It's so frustrating when people, oh, I don't like the taste. Well, it's kind of life and death in terms of taking nutrients now. We're on our own. Nobody's going to help us. If you go to a hospital, are they going to give you the right minerals? No. And I'm just being really terse now.
Well, Michelle, I think her mom is on Remag and Remite, but maybe she can't take the D3K2 or something. I'm not sure, but even one or two of the products that maybe are not easy to digest or to take in. But I know you can make your own gummies. We've had collagen bombs demonstrated before. Maybe I'll whip out that recipe and we'll post it in social media so everybody can see how to just take some gelatin and mix it in. But I think then you'd get down to the dosing part, wouldn't you, Carolyn, where you're not really sure exactly what you're getting?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a certain point where you just want people to take something,
That's
take anything.
That's
Yeah, when I do interviews, people say, "Well, what's the last thing you want to say to people?" I think just go to your cupboard and you'll see you have some sort of magnesium in there. Just start taking it. Take it through the day. Open up the capsule. If it's a powder, you just take it because magnesium is
sauce. Yeah.
it's so necessary. And I'm saying the same about vitamin C. People are saying, well, I get these bruises, or in the Tuesday market, I see these our older women customers with big bandages on their hand. I said, what's going on? Oh, my my skin is tissue paper thin.
Yeah.
And I scrape it and it opens up, and oh my gosh, that's scurvy. It's horrible to think that we are a society that doesn't make humans, we don't make our own vitamin C, and nobody has drummed that into our heads that we need higher doses of vitamin C than the 90 milligrams in the FDA, RDA, or whatever, who's responsible for the RDA. That's another thing poor RFK Jr. has to get on. Okay, are we moving on to
Yes.
more critique? Now, this is a commentary. Dr. Rose Petrella. I hadn't seen this doctor before. Okay, she says the switch that controls how fast you age. She says every cell has the same DNA, but not every gene is turned on. Active or silence is decided by methylation and controls how fast you age. So she's blaming or saying it's methylation. We're saying it's ATP MG, and it's true. Methylation is absolutely vital. So this is kind of cool. So the methylation is a process of attaching a molecule of a methyl group to your DNA, and it acts like a dimmer switch, up or down. And methylation working well means you have low inflammation and your detoxification is running smoothly. Stress, poor sleep, nutrient deficiency, menopause, etc., causes epigenetic drift, which makes you age faster. All that means is epigenetics is what turns the genes on and off. She's saying, oh, methyl is the only thing that turns genes on and off. Well, B vitamins, the good B vitamins are the methyl Bs, which are in our Reline, Magnesium is an epigenetic cofactor that turns genes on and off. But then she talks about nutrients from food, are choline, that's in eggs. This is your egg yolk. Folate, so that's a methylated B. B12, a methylated B. Those methyl groups help produce SAMe, SAM small e. It's a master methyl donor. So they give their methyl to SAMe, methyl groups to SAMe. And when it's working well, it keeps homocysteine in check. So, it's stage by stage by stage. What else keeps homocysteine in check? Magnesium. And these methyl groups make glutathione. What do? We have several methyl groups in our real line, and they're making our glutathione, especially L-methionine. And glutathione is the most powerful antioxidant and defense against aging. So it's like aging is the body gets rusty and gets clogged up with waste. So we have to keep detoxifying. And so then, she goes into the obvious, avoiding seed oils and sugar and alcohol. And she does say, though, magnesium and zinc are important. Zinc is very important. Good sleep, lowering your stress is important. So everybody's on about aging now. I guess it's, I mean, I'm a baby boomer. I'm in my 70s. So everybody's just trying to drag a few more years into their lives, which is what we're doing. So she said, inflammation starts the aging process, but methylation determines if you're able to fight back. And the only inflammation marker, she said, that could be useful is C-reactive protein. It's just CRP, inflammatory marker. I think it C-reactive protein. So it might be doing the protein agglutination, when sugar glycates to proteins and lipids. It might be measuring that. I'm not sure. So what do we do for aging? Magnesium, methyl Bs, amino acids that have methyl groups and sulfur groups. We're constantly detoxing, taking our nutrients. So that's pretty cool, isn't it, Ginny?
Yes, that is really, really neat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it made methylation a little easier to understand because some people can make it very complex. So that was great to see.
Yeah.
Will I press on?
Yes, let's see. We've got all kinds of information on the chat line about how Michelle can work with her mom to give her the nutrients that are not in, that she doesn't want to swallow, by putting it in food or doing different things. So it's great to see the chat line so active. And yeah, that's great. Yes, and we may continue to press on.
Right. Our big thing was telling people to put our Remag lotion or Remag balm in their hand cream, body cream, and leave it by the bedside, and just tell the nurses to put it on her, and she can rub it in her hands. She's getting her magnesium.
Very good.
Here's what I call the clown side of medicine. The FDA in September of this year released a biologic injectable drug with an unpronounceable name as the first treatment for the ultra rare Barth syndrome, BARTH. And I'm not going to go into Barth syndrome. I'm just want to say how silly this is, because they released it, just launched it out into the world, despite agency reviewers saying there was no evidence it was more effective than placebo. And the drug is now priced at $800,000 a year. Okay? This is our current state of allopathic medicine. Moving on. 47 million people are fated to develop dementia was the title of a podcast. I listened to it so you wouldn't have to. It was an alternative medicine site with a neurologist who has an NIH-funded retainyourbrain.com website. And he said 45% of dementia can be prevented. And the website tells you to take control of your cognitive future and improve brain health now. They have a free tool that helps you build brain healthier habits. So I guess, I shouldn't put it down saying it's all clownish, but people just don't have the time for these things. I learned that, when I did a 108-part Future Health Now online series, people just don't have time. But they do give lifestyle, diet, and exercise advice. They mentioned omega-3 fish oils, B vitamins, vitamin D, but not magnesium. And that's where I've said many times, if you don't see people recommending magnesium for any condition, then they're really not serious. They're not looking, certainly haven't read my book. And something I looked at about phosphatidylcholine, that's another sort of supplement that people say, oh, you should take this. And to me, it's in lieu of magnesium. Take magnesium and you might not need these phosphatidylcholines, etc. But it's in eggs. And I would like everybody to eat as many eggs as they want. We have chickens. We sell eggs at the farm. We just got 500 little baby chicks, and we have like 400 adult chicks. We're in a terrible position where the adult chickens are not laying and the baby chickens are too young to lay. So we're in a dearth of eggs. And when you get, quote, free range organic eggs in Costco, they do not taste the same. So anyway, I just wanted to say that when they're making these synthetic formulas, they're using a solvent extraction with ethanol or hexane to separate the lecithin from they're using soybeans. Soybeans in America are mostly genetically engineered. So we're in a situation where we do have to be careful about what we're taking and not just follow the hype of this marketing telling you need these 100 things. Okay, how are we doing? We never get to the articles. So Natural Health 365, who I enjoy, they just had a detox summit. They brought out the skin brushing, the Epsom salts baths, the bowel flushes, the liver flushes, gallbladder flushes, the fasting, all the things that I did religiously for years, but didn't feel a bit of difference in my health until I got my body saturated with magnesium, Remag. So there. And when I listened to some of the summit, and then I thought, well, gosh, we're taking care of all that. So here's how our formulas assist in daily detoxification. Phase 1 liver detox, magnesium in our Remag, methylated B vitamins, the B6, 12, folate in Realign, vitamin C, zinc in Remite, Pico Zinc Plus, copper. So that's how we're helping people with phase 1 detoxification. Phase 2, glutathione from our methionine in Realign, sulfur from our Realign sulfur amino acids, all the amino acids in Restructure, our methylated B6, 12, and folate, vitamin C, vitamin E, and our omega-3 algae A plus E. That's phase 2 detoxification. Phase 3, taurine assists phase 3. It's in Realign. That's one of the sulfur-based amino acids. Our vitamin A and vitamin E and omega-3 algae. We have our Realign with all the Bs, our vitamin C, our Remite and Recalcia, calcium is active in phase 3. I mean, it's amazing. We cover the waterfront. The copper in Remite is also in phase 3, plus zinc, plus magnesium. And we also have an added boost with our picoselenite, which is a stabilized ion of selenium that's used for very important things. One more, sucralose. That's a fake sugar, artificial sweetener. A 2025 study showed in human brain scans abnormalities in I don't know exactly right now, so I'm looking at it if it was human or animal studies, probably animal studies. No, it's a human brain scan. Okay, groundbreaking 2025 human brain scan from Nature Metabolism reveals a shocking link between sucralose splenda and increased hunger signals. So, if you use artificial sweeteners and struggle with cravings, this is the reason why. These artificial sweeteners make our body crave more sugar, not less. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Okay, so that's me done with my critique, and we have minutes left for some articles, but there's some questions.
Everybody's talking about how much they love to put mag on their Remag balm on their feet at night and sleep with magnesium on their feet, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And I do that too, and it is great. And so everybody's just excited about the Remag product.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, let me grab a few articles here. The first one, Rachel, anti-obesity medications set to explode entering 2026. Now, I might have said this last week because I was bashing the Ozempic, etc. But I mean, seriously, this report proves that big pharma and big medicine are just in it for the money. All the doctors involved crossed their fingers behind their back when they swore the Hippocratic Oath to protect life and avoid causing harm, which got translated into first do no harm. With the supply of GLP-1 medications finally stabilizing, this is in the article, as their use skyrocketed 600% among Americans from 2018 to 2024. The pharmaceutical landscape for anti-obesity medications is now poised to undergo another monumental shift. Yes, it is. Medicare is going to cover it. So our taxes are going to pay to make people sick with this Ozempic. A rapid proliferation of drugs that show an unprecedented efficiency for treating this disease of obesity is expected over the next year. This is such marketing clownishness. This expansion in available treatments will make up a new generation of drugs that build on the success of existing blah, 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 transformational medications, as well as some that push weight loss further through novel combinations and formulations. Many of these drugs are in late-stage clinical trials, meaning that 2026 should be a busy year for new weight loss medications. Horrible. Yeah, you lose muscle mass. Was it you, Jenny, who was saying that, or maybe Julie, that the high protein push right now is being pushed on people because they're losing muscle mass with Ozempic. So they need to eat a lot more protein to make up the muscle mass, but they have no appetite for food because the Ozempic cuts off the vagus nerve from the gut to the brain, telling the brain to turn on or turn off your appetite. So by killing the vagus nerve to do that one thing, they are wrecking the whole body. The vagus nerves does a lot more than telling you about your appetite.
Yes, I think we were talking about today in a meeting, Savvy, was some of the research that Savvy brought to fore that my Fitness Pal is saying that the high rise in the 40% increase of people searching for high protein diets is because they've been told by their doctors that they have to intentionally consume protein in order to protect their muscle mass, which of course is their heart. So they are doing that to protect their hearts while they're using this drug in order to lose the weight. Now, what do you think, Carolyn, about people who are 3 or 4 or 500 pounds overweight?
Yeah, those are the people that you want to put on this medication.
Okay. So
Not
there is a place for if you're that extremely obese, but
oh,
not as somebody who needs to lose 15 pounds.
I would think so, but I think, I read somewhere that it's a diabetic drug, and people who had to lose weight to help their diabetes, apparently they're doing better and don't have a lot of the side effects. It's the casual loser who's trying to lose whatever 10 to 25 pounds that is at risk for the side effects, as I understand it. So there's a lot of nuance to it. I think if doctors they just do an Ozempic practice, maybe they're going to microdose people and try to learn more about it. But I've never wanted anybody to use any drugs when we had more um, natural ways of losing weight, including looking at total biology. Because if you're in some sort of conflict, that could be a horrible, serious conflict, you have to address that so that you're not using your weight as a protection against a conflict or against a stress or an attack. Men and women will gain weight for protection.
Yeah.
So nobody's talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually embryonic.
Mm.
That
Mm.
in the fetus that you're not even connected. Your heart and your brain and everything's kind of growing developmentally, but the organ that's actually, or not organ, but system that's probably informing the most is the gut. And
Mm.
so it is the first line of defense for the body. And it's also the first line of protection. It's where people hold their most amount of weight. It's where it's the most difficult to lose. And sometimes when people do something like, become feeling very safe and confident, or they lose a sense of shame about something, the weight just falls right off because the gut decides it doesn't need to protect itself anymore.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but in our, fast everything society, just give me a pill.
Yeah.
And we won't have the final analysis maybe for another 10 years, and we'll just go, "Oops. Uh-oh,
Right.
what have we done?"
Yeah. Like we do with everything else. Yeah.
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 Well, we have to end on some sort of positive note. I don't know oh, let's talk about Pico Pets.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Uh, if we did not answer your question on the chat line tonight, you could have had a medical question, which we're not allowed to answer on a podcast. In which case you could ask customer support. They can't answer medical questions either, but they may be able to direct you to a way where you can get your question answered. And also, if you're listening to this podcast later and you don't have the answer you need, again, questions at drcarolyndean.com, or you can call our customer service line. And of course, if you want to learn more about Dr. Dean and Dr. Dean's common sense approach, somebody commented on tonight on the chat line, then you'll want to go to drcd.com, Dr. Carolyn Dean, and join her on her website. We're getting ready to launch probably in the next, I don't know, maybe 60 days, a learning university of Dr. Dean's content that you'll be able to constantly engage and refresh yourself on all these salient points. Now, Nan did mention, Carolyn, earlier in the show that she is doing the naturopathic program at Know Your Wellness. So there are people participating in doing that as well. We're not going to have a naturopathic college on drcarolyndean.com, but you'll be able to learn a lot about Carolyn's strategies for life, vitality, and well-being, in addition to supplementation. And if you are interested in protecting your pets And I just saw something earlier today where a dear friend of mine has a very young animal that is very sick with a very bad thing that starts with a C. And I've got to try to get a hold of her and talk to her about some of our products on Pico Pets, because we have industrial strength supplementation for animals.
Mhm.
And it cannot be overlooked, the quality of our products that we offer at the human level that can be certified for sport are the same products that can go into your pet and protect them as well as they protect you. So I'm going to get that information out. Please visit picopets.com, search out our social media, follow us. We have great influencers that are sharing their content, and we want you to be part of that experience as well. And then also, final thing, don't forget, Black Friday, Cyber Monday will come up eventually here in the next handful of days, and you'll be able to order again online. And we're introducing a new feature. Should I talk about it? Build your own bundle? Should I say that? I
No.
probably shouldn't talk about it yet.
Okay. Okay, but I want to talk about Supco.
Okay.
A company called Supco, SUPP.co. They are analyzing all the different reasons for having a trustworthy product. So they create a trust score. They look at 29 different factors, like is it doctor promoted or sponsored or whatever. So we're in there. But out of over 800 companies that they've looked at, we are in the top 2 percentile. Right up here, almost you can't even see them way up there. So we have products that you can say to your friend who comes along, well, I like this product. Look at this. You just go to Supco on your phone or go to Grok and say, does this silly product have a Supcore score? And a lot of these supplements, they're not even scored. And I've asked Grok, well, can you look through the company's curriculum vitae and see what kind of trust score they would have, and they'll go and give you a score. Grok is that sensitive. So what I'm saying is people will say, well, I don't know if I should bother taking what you're taking. I'm taking this. Well, you say, well, this has a score of 6, whereas my stuff, Remag has a score of 9.4. Our company has a score of 9.29. So this is something that you can start telling people when they say, well, I'm taking magnesium, I'm good. Mm-mm.
No.
Right, Jenny?
Yeah, I'm surprised at how many products and major influencers and even big products like BP 157, which is a peptide they're always raving about. And even people like, well, I wouldn't say Bulletproof, like the brand name, but if I did, I would have to say Bulletproof. Oh, I was going to say Dave Asprey, but I wouldn't say that either. But anyway, the point is that those products are not at all well recommended. They're
Mm,
not well made. And
mm-mm.
you got to be careful. I mean, we're talking about ultra processed foods. How about over processed supplements? You
Yeah, they put all their money into marketing. The millions of dollars they were supposed to put into testing and getting the best ingredients from America and not cheap, then that'll show up in your score. Because when I was trying to do the AIDS protocol that we were injecting into people homeopathically in New York, I thought, well, doctors aren't going to buy this. They're not going to get on board. So I thought, well, I'll get the Chinese herbs that I was potentizing homeopathically, put them into capsules, and we'll have some effect. And the company I talked to, I won't give the name, but they're a well-known company. I said, well, what if you get these Chinese herbs and they're contaminated in some way? What are you going to do? And I wanted to hear, we will send them back because that's what you do. And they said, well, we'll spray them with this and put this solvent in and then throw them into an agitator. I mean, it was just so processed. And I said, well, do I have to report that on a label? Oh, no, no, no. That's before we do all that. And then we send it to the lab, a third-party lab, and it's clean. And then you put it, seriously, this is what we're swallowing. And that's why nothing worked for me until I got my own magnesium and was able to take enough of it to make a difference.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Michelle says, here's a positive note. I appreciate you and look so forward to the Monday night lesson. I usually go back and watch once or twice later too. Thank you so much for sharing and caring. And that is the best thing that could possibly be said at this point in the show. So we say thank you. Hearts out to everybody. We'll be back next week. More fun things. December, we're featuring Dr. Dean's cookbook, everybody. So grab your get your recipe book and you can follow along. All great things are happening. We'll see you next week.
Aloha and mahalo.
You have been listening to Dr. Carolyn Dean, the doctor of the future. Become a member of drcarolyndean.com and get access to all her leading edge of creation information, as well as archives, webinars, and other valuable media resources. Join Dr. Dean and Ginny Almighty same time again next week.